guys, it's Morgan and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're taking things in a bit of a different direction. Instead of doing the conspiracy theory videos that I have been doing lately, I decided to take a short break from them, and so today's video we're going to be talking about Netflix's show Outer Banks. So I know that the show has been out for a couple of weeks, and by now I feel like most of America has probably watched it. If you haven't, great show. I'm going to try and avoid talking about spoilers in the video, but I don't know, so just a forewarning, because I don't exactly remember like the order things happen, so when I talk about it, I don't know how, like little details about stuff. I don't remember exactly the episodes, so I can't give the forewarning with that. And as an added bonus of things that I think are fun, I'm going to be turning myself into what I think I would look like if I was on the show. So, let's get started. Okay, so as you can see by my outfit, I am already dressed because it saves time. And so I chose this because the pants really give me like beachy vibes. Like they're really light, so they're like kind of formalish, but not formalish. So like they're like the casual summer beach pants, and I have an oversized t-shirt. Both are kind of wrinkly right now. Ooh, camera angles. Both are kind of wrinkly right now, but I kind of feel like that ties in with the whole thing because, you know, it's the beach. You don't really care what you're wearing that much. So we got for my outfit. Okay, that was really some shaky camera work on my part, so I apologize, but I think you get the idea that I'm wearing an oversized orange shirt and some yellow cotton type pants. For my hair, I was kind of going with like the style that I've seen a lot on TikTok, like the half up with braids, just because I put my hair half up and half down a lot in general, and I sometimes will like put like a braid, like French braid back a little bit, and then have like other ones hanging down. So I feel like it kind of is something that I would have done already, and I'm definitely going to wear that to school next year, if we go back to school next year. Okay, so probably start talking about the video now. Okay, my first thing when I saw the show was I was kind of wondering if it was going to be overhyped. Because, you know, TikTok kind of like blew up with it, and I started seeing like posts about it everywhere, and it looked like a good show, like something I would have watched normally, but because everyone was obsessed with it, it kind of made me wonder, like, is this show actually a good show, or is it just something that everyone is in love with right now because of the combination that we're stuck inside, and the actors that are like they're pretty, there's no other way to say it, like they're like they're pretty actors, and it's kind of like the story seems like something that a lot of people would get into, but we'll go into that later. First off, we're going to talk about some of the characters. I feel like with the three main boy characters, John B, JJ, and Pope, I saw right away like what they could possibly contribute to the story, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like there's a lot of story tests, like, to see if characters are actually important, and they all definitely brought something to the table. Then when we get to the girls, and here's where we're going to get some controversial opinions, I did not like Sarah Cameron until episode 4. Here's why. There is I don't know if I want to call it a statement. There is a term called the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. The Manic Pixie Dream Girl basically exists to be this like really quirky, really out there, like almost otherworldly type girl character, and their whole purpose is helping the main male character reach their goals, develop their whole potential, blah 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 blah. So some examples of like Manic Pixie Dream Girls off the top of my head, Margot Roth Spiegelman was supposed to be from Paper Towns, was supposed to be written as like the antithesis to a Manic Pixie Dream Girl, because at the end of the book, Quentin realizes that she's actually a real person and not just some like figment. That one is the one off the top of my head because I'm in love with Paper Towns, and oh my gosh, I definitely have to hold you a whole conversation because I've analyzed the Manic Pixie Dream Girl so much, because it really does depend on how you look at it. But since Outer Banks was told from John's perspective, from his perspective, it kind of seemed at first that, what's her name? Oh my god. It kind of seemed at first that from John's perspective, Sarah was a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. And I say this for a couple of reasons. Sarah was like first displayed to us as like the kook princess. but we see her doing a lot of, I guess, like crazy things. Like we see her kind of being like quirky where she doesn't really care what other people think. Like I remember one scene, she is running around, not running around, but she's like kind of messing around by the docks after a storm because a little girl asked for her bear that was left in a boat, and so Sarah said that she would go and get the bear, even though there was a risk of like high voltage wires, so she just kind of like ran through and she got the bear. And we see her doing stuff like jumping off of the top of the roof with Topper, and we see her kind of like not really caring, like almost like a level of recklessness. And while I get like a lot of characters did that, because Sarah just kind of seemed at first, like in the first few episodes at least to me, she seemed like just like the love interest, but as the story progressed, I definitely was able to see her as more of that, and I was really happy that the writers actually like fleshed her out and gave her a whole persona, I guess. I don't want to say persona. I feel like the writers did a good job of making her more than just the love interest from a different side of the island, and I thought that was really well done because I was kind of skeptical of why everyone liked her at first. Then there's Key. Key, I definitely want to see more of her in season 2. I feel like Key's character, I did like her. Like, Key was one of those people who she's very environmentally conscious. She honestly seems like someone that if she went to my school, I probably would want to be friends with. I like how she's kind of like the mom friend of the group. She looks out for everyone and she wants everyone to be safe. So I did like that about Key. So I guess this would be kind of a mild spoiler. I don't know. Because I feel like the hard thing with Pope is that we see that Pope, JJ, Key, and John B all have very different home lives. So John B really doesn't have a home life. Like, his home life is his friends because his friends are the ones that are always there for him. Like, his dad is missing. His mom left him, and his uncle, who's supposed to be his guardian, is at a casino somewhere, building it or at it. I don't actually remember that exact detail. So, oh, and look, I'm using rainbow loom bands because I couldn't find like little hair ties. So, reuse, making good use of stuff. So my thing with Pope is that I kind of feel like everyone was like expecting him. They were like, oh, like you're putting your scholarship and stuff before him. But I kind of feel like the thing with Pope is like his scholarship was like important to him. And we knew it was important to him. He said it from the very beginning when John B introduced his character. He talked about how smart Pope was and how Pope was getting a scholarship, or was supposed to be getting some kind of scholarship. So I kind of felt like the way that they treated Pope with that really wasn't the best, because they kind of were like saying you're putting this before the friend group, but really Pope has other goals, like he has other plans too. So I kind of feel like they were like, you're putting this before us, like blah 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 blah, and I kind of feel like that was not right of the group to do, just because of like all of the stuff that Pope has done for them. Like, I kind of felt like it was kind of lame, honestly. So I feel like Pope was really underrated because he put the things that he really cared about after his friends, and I feel like he made sacrifices like the scholarship interview that really no one talks about, and they should be talking about that because that was important to Pope and his family. Topper was kind of an idiot. Okay. So for the Kooks are kind of like jerks, honestly. There's really no other way to put it. Topper, we really see to the most Topper, Rafe, and I guess sometimes Sarah's little sister Weezy. Rafe and Weezy are related to Sarah, so Topper was Sarah's boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend now, I guess, and he kind of is very hot-headed. You see this from one of the very first episodes that Topper's hot-headed, and it almost reminded me of The Outsiders in a way. Oh my god, this was literally like The Outsiders, now that I'm thinking about it. You have like the us versus them of like two groups of kids on the same stretch of land. Oh, my hair is shorter than I thought. And like, One of them is much richer. The other one comes from like the more poor part of town. Then you have the girl who's like the ex-girl of one of like the main bullies of the rich kids, becomes friends with a pack of kids from the other side. Oh my god, it's literally the Outsiders. We did that for the fall play a few years ago. Topher kind of like deserved a redemption arc that he, like, I feel like Topher deserved. I don't know. I'm kind of tied on Topher's character because he really was kind of a jerk. Like, there's some stuff where if the story was told from his point of view, then his girlfriend cheated on him with one of those guys, and so, like, yeah, I'd kind of be mad if I was him too. Wow. Good enough. So I'm mad if I was him too. And this is my Outer Banks hair. Woo! I actually kind of like it, I think. I can't really tell. I feel like if I was going to do it again, I'd definitely make the braids a little bit thicker. But, my hair's cut in layers, and I do, like, the dry cut for the curly hair, so I genuinely don't know how long my hair is in certain places. Fun fact. So, why I don't straighten it, because I don't know how it would look. Wow, I'm getting off topic. Back to the Outer Banks. Yeah, so I think Pope is underrated. I thought that Sarah Cameron was going to be a Manic Pixie Dream Girl at first. I think that Wheezy's honestly kind of a snake. I can't really tell with her. I can't tell if she's looking for her sister's fall from grace, or if she just genuinely doesn't realize what she's doing. Because she talks about how she and Rafe are the black sheep of the family, and it seems like Wheezy will like do little subtle things that affect Sarah's life, like telling Topher that Sarah didn't sell John B out when he was at the boat and was like flirting with him, and that Sarah's cheated on other guys before. So sometimes I feel like she kind of like instigates stuff a little bit. I don't know. I feel like my sister would have definitely like not said that, just because I feel like, I don't know. So I'm not really sure about that. And Rafe was on like a literal crackhead. So I don't really know what to do with him. Going on to the actual plot, I actually thought it was kind of good. Like, I didn't get the hype till I was about halfway in. I was kind of like, I don't get this, I guess. Like, it seems like a fun show, but I don't know why everyone's in love with it. And then the treasure hunt really started picking up, and I was like, oh, yes, this is good. So I do understand why everyone likes it. But I have some theories deeper into why people actually do. And we'll get them to you in 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Because I had to get all my bracelets, because I have to accessorize. So most of my bracelets, before we start the theories, are ones that I've made myself. I like to do the friendship ones, so this is actually an anklet. And what other ones do I have? These are like the same pattern. Like, I have some anklets here, but I also have, what one has a good pattern? Oh, I like this pattern. Ones with like cool patterns, like, oh, they almost all fell. Okay, yeah, so they have different cool patterns. Like, I did this one because my school's mascot is dragon, so I do like the different bracelets like that, and I have like a mix, so I have 4 ocean bracelets, you know, stuff like that. So I'm gonna put on all my bracelets, and we're gonna talk about theories. I know I said that this wasn't gonna be a big theory video, and we basically talked about what I feel about the characters for the most part, but here's why I think everyone is obsessed with the Outer Banks for real. So, a few things. I feel like it comes into the time period that we are at now, and the time period a lot of us had when we were younger. So, hear me out. Sorry, I'm like looking at my plant because I realize I need to water them right, like today. My bad. So, when we were younger, I know my family at least, like, we went to the beach all the time. So I associate like the beach with like being like family vacations, like summer, having fun, stuff like that. Another thing that everyone liked to do when they go to the beach, or I feel like even in like everyday life, like this was kind of normal for little kids to want to do, I always wanted to find treasure. Like, I feel like every little kid at some point, you want to find a treasure map, you want to find where X leads, you are looking for where the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You just want, like, you want to find the treasure. So I think that the Outer Bank kind of embodies that, like, childhood desire to be like in summer and looking for treasure, because that's basically what the entire book like season is. The entire season is them living their life at the beach while it is summer and they're looking for treasure. So I feel like that's why it makes sense from like a innate desire almost to be that, like, to find the treasure like your kid self wanted to. I think that's what part of it could come from. I think another part of it could be the fact that we're all self-quarantining right now. I know the times are really tough right now. The world's kind of strange. I remember I was driving the other day and I realized how much the world had grown. Like, I know this is kind of silly, but like, you don't realize how much, like it's springtime. And when we went into quarantine, it was mid-March. So I will be driving and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like everything is so green and it's so big. And I'm just standing there like in awe of it because I didn't even realize how much it was growing. But back to the point, I think it comes into the fact that we're all kind of feeling like everyone misses normal life. Like, everyone is sending their thoughts and prayers to those who are affected by this, and for all of our people on the front lines, our nurses, our doctors, our essential workers. But there also remains the fact that every kid, at least I know my age, is like waiting for, hoping that we're still gonna have summer. I feel like the Outer Banks is almost like a summer that we can live through, I guess. Even if we're not actually, like, I know we're not actually, like, living, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. I feel like the Outer Banks is letting people, like, live through it almost. Like, feel those summer vibes and the treasure hunting vibes and being young and carefree. Because another thing about it that I realized is, like, it basically is, like, the common teen story. Where for a reason, like, the parents aren't really around and the kids are always having fun, they're always together, you're always having a good time with your friends, you're hanging out, you're doing all of this fun stuff, you're just having a blast. So I kind of feel like the Outer Banks embodied the feelings of having a blast and just going outside and doing you. I think that could be part of it. So, why I think people like it? I feel like it comes down to people feeling like kind of like living through it almost. And I also think it is related to how everyone likes the idea of summer, the idea of treasure hunting. Like, those ideas are just fun. Like, who doesn't want to find treasure? So, and like spend all your time with your friends. Like, that sounds like so much fun. So I feel like it kind of like appeals to a lot of people because it's the summer adventure that everyone wants to have. I was kind of all over the place as I sit here and talk to myself as I put my English on and try to figure out what I'm saying. But I feel like basically I got a pretty good picture of everything that I wanted to talk about. I feel like I got a pretty good picture of the Outer Banks and what my thoughts are on it. Kind of choppy, but I successfully turned myself into a member of the Outer Banks, I think. Or I successfully turned myself into what I think someone from the Outer Banks would wear. And let me show you real quick, because I had to move my mirror up close so I could do my hair. Ta-da! So, I have my Birks and my anklets and my linen pants and my orange shirt and my bracelets on both arms. I definitely feel like I'm going to do this again, because this was definitely fun to try and turn myself into a character from the TV show. In this case, just a general idea of what someone from the Outer Banks would wear while talking about the show. So I'm definitely going to do this again. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm here every Tuesday, sometimes with conspiracy videos, sometimes with something else. This is a case, this is something else. And I'll see you guys next week.